Alex Cassidy, influencer, musician, and so much more, joins us this morning, a UK influencer who fell in love with Trinidad and Tobago, who we now see Kababla Pots. Good morning, Alex. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
I mean, we are doing well. You clearly are doing well.
Yeah,
It was the first time. Morning.
Yeah. Morning.
Welcome to the Now.
So, Alex, let's get straight into the conversation. What brought you to Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, my stepdad, he brought me here from when I was about 7 years old. And from a young age, I just fell in love with the culture, with the people. And then eventually, when I got a little older, I started drinking a little punch and started enjoying the life.
That we've seen. But initially, the internet would have met you, at least through your social media channels, as a musician. And then we saw the evolution of more of those videos where you're trying to punch and the likes. Tell me a little bit about your musical past, because we see you playing a pan. But are there particular instruments that perhaps you started on that got you migrating towards?
Yeah, so I started playing piano from about 7 years old. And I did all my piano lessons, did all my grades. But I've always had a deep love for the steel pan, but I never really played the pan. So it was 2023, I had the idea of buying a pan. I bought a little pan and started playing it from then. And then by 2024, I started actually doing live concerts in the UK, because I picked up the pan quick because of playing the piano from such a young age.
Right. And then we saw you move across, well, not move across, but apart from the pan, you also play other instruments.
Yeah. Guitar and, well, the pan and piano. So,
well, except for the piano, self-taught altogether?
No, well, I did lessons, but also there's a lot of self-teaching within doing lessons as well. So.
And from the music then, talk me through the decision to take it to social media, to the digital space.
Well, I never planned to be a social media guy. I thought, well, I'll do like a little video. It was exactly this time last year, about a week ago, I thought to do a little video on TikTok and, you know, see what it would do. And the video blew up, and I thought, I have such knowledge and connection to this country, and I've seen other influencers do the same thing, so I wanted to share my story. And really the idea was to show people in the UK what life is like in Trinidad and Tobago, what liming is, you know, and...
what punching is.
Yeah, and that too. So yeah, it was really, it wasn't, what's reached now was not intended at all.
Now, you mentioned intention. You said, you know, you came here when you were 7, but we assume it was intentional to stay. But what was that particular draw? Was there a moment or something that made you realize this is where I need to be?
There's definitely nothing in particular. I think just like with the food, how good the food is, because as we know, notoriously in the UK, we don't have the greatest food in the world. And then not only that, the way people live here, the culture, the way people, I find in myself, it seems very free here, a very free life, especially in Tobago. And not only that, the weather's great, the beaches are amazing. I mean, some of the best views you'll see in the world, some of the nicest beaches you will see in the world, you know. So, I mean, there's just so much that can draw you to Tobago, whether it is the people, whether it is the food, whether it is the music. I mean, soca music is great. And we don't get to listen to much of it in the UK, but when I come over here, it's right through, it's soca. 24/7.
Which we also saw you dabble in a little bit, if you would, because that collaboration with the Erin Duncan technically could be some soca vibes. Will we see more of that happening as well?
Yes, there's going to be some more. I've not released anything yet, but there's going to be something more coming soon. Yeah.
And in that case, any other persons earmarked to be paired up with?
Not particularly, no.
So we don't have a favorite soca artist at least that we're hoping to get a chance to link with?
Not yet.
Keep your options open.
But yeah, we're keeping the options open though.
You're right. So let's talk more about that move, because it wasn't the average look for a spot to rental kind of situation. You are in the jungle roughing it. You are literally, you've constructed your own property.
Yes.
And you are living in Tobago itself. That move, as much as you said it was kind of organic and just a natural flow of things because of your love for the country, it's not the most comfortable thing in the world to be living in the bushes.
Well, I love it. I mean, I made a video a while ago. I'd rather live in that £3,000 house than the £300,000 house. I've got everything I need in there.
Well, it is it's cheaper, so that's an easy reason.
No, but I got everything.
Tell me a little bit more about your experience then of that specific type of living, because that's not how you were living before. That's a big change.
Yeah, well, I would say, I mean, it's the same as in I've got water, I've got Wi-Fi, I've got a place to sleep, a roof over my head. I think I like the simple lifestyle, the eco lifestyle, you know. I may be coming from the UK where life is so different. For me to come over here and live in a board house or whatever, for me, I love it, you know. And to be surrounded by nature, to be only woken up by the sound of birds, you know, I think that's great. Or the sound of a chicken, I love that.
Because you might cook it.
Yeah, or that maybe. Or an agouti.
Alex, one of the things you mentioned is that you are from the Isle of Wight. So you have that island living from before. Do you think that assisted you or has assisted you in your continued transition to being Tobagonian?
Yeah, I think so. I think that small island lifestyle, like knowing the community, knowing everyone around you, you know, you go to the bar or whatever, you know exactly who is who, you know. I like that local lifestyle, you know. I'm not a city boy. I don't like big city. I don't like big crowds. I like small knit communities.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the community then that you've settled into in Tobago, because that would have been a big part of how you're able to do your cooking and your songs and your music. What was that like integrating into the Tobago?
Absolutely amazing. So I'm around the Plymouth area, and people treat me with so much love, so much respect. And it's just amazing to be driving down the road. Hey boy, what's up? Hey boy, and you know, we don't get that in the UK. Like people shouting at each other. We're very quiet in the UK as well, you know. So to be able to drive down the road and everyone shouting out, saying hello to you, saying good morning, it's just such an amazing experience, you know.
Now, comparatively, because you've done both Trinidad and Tobago frequently, comparatively, where Trinidad is much more loud and much more busy. I know you picked Tobago, but what do you think of Trinidad from that same perspective as a foreigner?
Trinidad is absolutely beautiful. I mean, some amazing views, stunning beaches. But obviously I don't get to spend as much time here because my place is in Tobago, but I absolutely love Trinidad also.
Did you have to deal with any challenges when you made that transition, or when you make the annual transition to come and live here?
Not really, you know. Once I bring my sun cream and I don't burn, then I'm good.
Bloody sunscreen!
Yeah.
Hold on, we have to catch ourselves a little bit.
Now, granted that the transition was easy, and no, you heard the news of us now having to implement or having visas implemented for the transition to the UK. Any thoughts on that particularly? Because I mean, obviously you benefited from the ease of the no need for a visa situation. Any thoughts on that, where we now require a visa to come to the UK?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. I think it's quite unfortunate with the situation with the visa. If I could control it, I would change it, but obviously I can't. So yeah, it's just one of those things. It is unfortunate, but maybe in the future it might change. I don't know.
As you mentioned the future, what is in your future when it comes to living here and also telling your story in Trinidad and Tobago? What do you foresee?
I'd say my future here, I'm trying to get some sort of residency, or maybe so I could stay a little bit longer and maybe potentially try work in Trinidad and Tobago and make a career out of myself over here. That would be the final goal, so I could support myself coming over here and, you know, spend full time here.
Now, that career, is it going to be more culinary, or is it going to be as a musician, or something else?
Island tours, music, everything. Yeah.
Right. What we calling it, Alex? You had to come up with a name.
Alex Cassidy Tours.
Okay. There we go. Simple, easy. All right, we quick and ready. Yeah. And if it were that you had to, because you said ultimately it was to share your story from your perspective to the UK, the vast difference, the beauty and all of that. What so far is that story, if you were to summarize it?
The story is really to be shown, I mean, seen from my perspective of how things is, like how people cook here. Even every Sunday in my village there, they have a big pot cook-up soup right on the side there, on the pavement or the sidewalk. And if you wanted to do that in the UK, the amount of health and safety regulations you'd have to go through, this and that. I mean, it's so much trouble to do anything like that. So to be able, even the fact of doing something so simple as cooking a pot on the side of the road, to be able to do that here is just like, it's great for me to show off to the world. You know, I'll take a video, show around, look, this is the scenes here. this is how the life is here, you know.
Aside from the ease of life and the wonderful food and so much more, is there anything in particular that you really enjoy, but you also know that you can't enjoy at home?
Not really, you know. No, I couldn't really say, because everything, I cook all Trini food in England, so I don't miss any of that here. I don't really cook much English food. Not really, you know. The only thing I miss is my family and my friends. That's the only thing I could say, but I mean, you can't have it all, you know. But I bring a lot of my friends over to Tobago. Every year we've got different people come in and I show them around the place, because people get fed up of me talking about Tobago in England. They get fed up, they say, right, we've heard enough. We've heard enough, come on, you know, but I think that's one of the reasons that encouraged me to make these videos, to really show not just my friends, but the whole of the UK, which is now turned in kind of a worldwide thing, because I've got people from America watching, people from the UK, people from Guyanese, all over the Caribbean, Jamaicans, you know, so showing.
I mean, Trinidad and Tobago is a big deal, so they're gonna watch. And I like though that you continuously tell these stories. So are there things that you plan to capture, and let's say in the next couple of months we have different seasons, we have different holidays, are those things that you plan to partake of as well and record?
Yes, for sure. I'll definitely be capturing Tobago Carnival, and I obviously I'm going back on Friday, so I'm not going to be able to capture much in the summer, but from October, come back, I'll be able to capture. While
you're in the UK, do you get a lot of people questioning you about living here from a safety standpoint?
Yeah, a lot of people actually, a lot of people. And I try stress, I've been coming here for 17 years. I've never ever had one problem. I walk the streets alone at whatever time of night. I've never had a problem, okay? I mean, I am in Tobago, so, but I've never ever had a problem. No one's ever bothered me. If anything, I feel more safe here than I do in my own hometown in the UK.
Now, you spent some time here in Trinidad as well. I know you went to the Paramount Lookout, is it? No,
yes.
Quite recently. Yes. Tell me about your Trinidad experiences.
Absolutely amazing. I mean, we got to the Paramount part, I think, where they have all the what do you call it, pineapple chow and thing. Guy come up to me playing the guitar. Ooh,
you know. No sound clash, you didn't pull out yours on.
No, I didn't have my guitar there, but no, I mean, I think I was really amazed about how busy the place is. Obviously, where I spent a lot of time in Tobago, but like Maracas Bay, I must have like 5,000–6,000 people on one beach.
I was, long weekend.
You know, I was amazed. I was really amazed. And it was very beautiful.
Now, beyond the beauty, beyond the music and the blogging, we also want to see or get a sense of what we can do to enhance that connectivity. And when I say we, because you talk about being back and forth between Trinidad and Tobago and the UK, you've settled on Tobago, but the movement between the two of them, I imagine, is kind of difficult at times. Tickets to Tobago, things in advance. Do you specifically come, particularly during the colder times in the UK, into Tobago?
Yes, yes. So from around about October, November, because the UK winters are pretty dread. Every day's rainy and cold.
Don't envy you.
Yeah.
Don't envy you at all.
I'm very lucky to be able to do what I do, and I'm very lucky to be in such a beautiful country as well.
Let's go back to the beginning again, because you said you were 7. Is it that you would have come back like on an annual basis to Tobago and were able to experience the culture?
So usually I would just come for 2 weeks, 3 weeks on a little vacation holiday. And then as I got to about 18 years old, I started coming out here for half the year, around 5 months, 6 months.
And aside from it, of course, inspiring your culinary love, your music and so much more, do you think that coming here on that annual basis actually helped shape you as an individual? Yeah?
100%. I think you learn the differences between cultures, you learn phrases, slangs, so then obviously you're inspired by everything around you. So when you're spending half the year here, it kind of does mold your personality.
You already hit us some and morning. What's your favorite ones? Any favorite phrases or things that you say? So when you hear them now in the UK, they're usually like, sorry, you okay?
Yeah, I think sometimes I go back to the UK and I'm giving Trini slangs and people are watching me. I had to, I've not had an argument with someone in the UK, but I said, give me a blind man. And he didn't know what I was saying. He was watching me like I was crazy, and I was like, right, okay. I'm turning into too much of a Trini.
There's no such thing.
Yeah.
Well, we're giving you a blind this morning, you know, because I feel like we've explored a lot of what you have done and what you will do. We're looking out for that album and those collaborations. Any other content that we could look forward to? Because you said you're going to give us more in October. So
No, but there's going to be more cooking, live steel pan shows.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be, there's a lot to look forward to.
What's your favorite thing to make?
My favorite thing to make? Curry.
Yeah, makes
I'm a
sense.
curry man. I like stew, you know, but curry is my real thing. Yeah.
Secret ingredient then to the curry? Because you know you could add plenty of things.
Yeah,
apart
you
from
could add
curry
plenty
itself.
of things.
What
I
do
like
you-
to make it classic, you know. Make sure you bouger the curry, chonke
Okay.
the onion, the garlic. Yeah.
Get them things.
So where did you learn to do this? Because you especially you're talking about actually doing anything proper.
Yeah, well, from my stepdad, I've learned cooking from my stepdad,
Okay.
and then also his mum as well. I've learned ideas from him, and also watching other people. Even sometimes my neighbour would come around, show me a few things, and then also videos online. I'd be watching stuff, and I've always had a deep passion for cooking. From about 18 years old, I was always cooking. So I've been cooking Trini food for years. So people want to know, well, how has he learned all this cooking? But
Yeah.
it's just I've developed it from years of cooking. Yeah.
I have to ask this question because life in Trinidad and Tobago, we're very laid back. We're relaxed. We don't really have many regulations. We could do what we want. What is it like when you have to go home for the half of the year? How long does it take you to get back into that energy of always being on the go?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think because I've lived there from a young age anyways, well, I've grown up there, I think I naturally do just adapt back quite quick anyways. But it can be very frustrating.
Yeah.
You know, even as simple as just having a little fire on the beach and then someone's coming up and saying, oh, you can't have a fire on the beach. It's like, I've controlled, do you know what I mean? It's like, it can be very frustrating.
Yeah.
So it can make you a bit moany a lot of the time, yeah.
Mooney.
Yeah.
Now, granted then that we are taking care of you technically here, the hospitality that you're experiencing here at TTT now. Tell me a little bit on your perspective there. How you feel? The limelight, the television, the local space. So far, so good?
Beautiful.
Killing madness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you feel welcome, that you're warm, that you continue to show the beauty of Trinidad and Tobago. We really appreciate that tremendously. Continue to do what you're doing, and hopefully next time we have you on set is to tell us when is the next concert performance or the next collaboration.
Okay,
And bring
thank
some
you. And I
food.
just want to say thank you to the Trini people as well for giving me so much love back as well. That love is really reciprocated back, and that gives me more encouragement to do more. So,
I'm saying next time you come and bring food.
Yes, please.
Yeah, of
Thank
course.
you.
Okay.
Guys,